Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you was with us in part 1, you saw that we covered a brake caliper refresh on the Audi Mark 2 TT. And in this part 2 episode, we cover the rear brake caliper on the Audi Mark 2 TT. So stick around guys. So firstly, you want to start off by jacking up your vehicle. If you don't know how to jack up the Mark 2 TT, I do have a video explaining that and what you need for it. But in this instance, I already have the jack lined up perfectly. I can just crack straight on with it. I then proceeded to free off the wheel nuts, and these hadn't been off for a minute. They were absolutely solid. So back there I've got a 13mm spanner sat on it. On the inside there's a collar. I believe it's 15mm, but I couldn't find mine, so I've had to go for a 5/16. And I'm just trying to free off that back nut. And I realise it's just too much, so I'll go for the lump hammer. A little bit tight. So to get the caliper out, I do find it's easier using some sort of lever tool between the actual working part of the caliper and the housing. And now the caliper's free, I want to get out the pads and the little pad retainers as well, what are stuck in at the top and bottom. Then just before I get the wire brush out, I'll just get the worst rough off with the trusty little file. And what I use for the wire brushing is just a standard cordless electric drill with a different assorted mix of these wire brush tips I got. So on the rear I opted not to remove the carrier. I didn't have the multi-spline tool needed to remove the carrier, so I just thought I'll leave it on and just paint what's visible. To be honest, these rear brakes weren't that bad. I was simply just removing the surface oxide and any of the residue from the brake dust. Use the different attachments and just get into all the little nooks and crannies. And if need be, remove and replace the caliper as necessary, just double checking you've got all of the spots. And whilst working on a caliper, I noticed the dust shield had seen better days, so I reached for the trusty file, gave it a bit of a rough down and a lick of paint towards the end. Obviously this bit's optional, but while I was in there I just thought it'd be a shame to leave it looking scruffy while I'm redoing the caliper, and I'm glad I did it towards the end. So I got everything masked off, ready for spraying. I used a food bag and simply just slipped it around the disc to keep the disc freely moving. Taped it in position and then poly bag around the back of the wheel arch. Now let's get cracking on with the primer. Again with the primer, as with the fronts, couple of thin coats, and I didn't have to wait long for it to dry. As you know, it's extremely hot at the minute, so it took no time at all. And now for the fluorescent orange. This proper slaps you in the face, I absolutely love it. Give it a good 15 minutes between coats and just make sure you're getting all the nooks and crannies. And now we're nearly there, applying the final lacquer coat. So give these retaining clips a bit of a rub down and it'll make things look a lot tidier and potentially give the pads a little bit more of a freer movement. Now to unwrap the disc and surrounding area and apply some paint to that dust shield. So I'm painting the dust shield in some satin black cylinder paint. It's just what I had laying around the garage and thought I'd put a use to it. So I'm going to give it a couple of good coats, let it dry, and then we'll rebuild the caliper back with the brake pads. And already it's looking loads better. So I've just got to whip out the caliper now and we'll put those pad retaining clips back in we cleaned earlier, put the pads back in and then get the caliper bolted back up and then take a step back and see what we've done. So there we are, all done. What do you think, guys? I absolutely love them. I think the calipers actually look like brand new now. Let's see if they last. What do you reckon to the colour scheme against the grey? I actually love it. So tell me what you think, guys, in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Is it a colour you do personally? What colour do you prefer yours in? Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, subscribe and give us a like. Be much appreciated. Cheers.